Here's some amazing intermittent fasting advice that I've compiled after years of working with thousands of men and women around the world to help them achieve their weight loss and wellness goals. Let's get into number one. There are different ways to fast and different reasons why you might want to use one fast over another. And people really get hung up on this one because you'll see online like one type of fast where they just did clean fasting for 20 hours a day, worked really well for this one person. Another person did 12 hours and it worked great. Another person used keto coffee. Another person just had water. The type of fast you choose really comes down to your goals, so you shouldn't be choosing an intermittent fast that doesn't work for your goals. There's two distinct types of fast. There's a clean fast and a fasting mimicking. Clean fast is where you're just having water during the fast, and this is more ideal, especially for gut health purposes. Then there's the fasting mimicking approach. This is where you have some flexibility on what you can include during your fast, like a little bit of heavy cream in your coffee, some keto coffee, various supplements. And this type of fast isn't the best option for a gut health perspective, but it can be really useful for weight loss. So do what matches your goals, not someone else's. Okay, the second thing, just because you can eat at any time during your eating window doesn't mean you should. Grazing throughout the eating window is not ideal with intermittent fasting for a number of reasons. First of all, you never get satiated. So you're just like constantly nibbling throughout the day. You're never actually eating enough at any one meal to feel satisfied, which means that you're likely going to get a lot hungrier once your fasting period starts again. Also, by grazing throughout the eating window, you're getting these constant hits of insulin every time you eat, which then allows the body to not shift back into fat burning more easily. And just from a bloating perspective, you want to try and stay away from grazing anyway. So if you have gut health issues, sticking to a meal structure, and even if weight loss is your goal, sticking to a meal structure is going to be more ideal with intermittent fasting than grazing throughout your eating window. Okay, the third thing, longer is not always better. This is another thing that people get really hung up on. They think like, oh, I'm not seeing the results I'm looking for with like a 12-hour fast or a 14-hour fast or a 16-hour fast. That means I need to be doing OMAD or alternate day fasting or a 3-day fast. That's not the case. Typically, if you're not seeing results with intermittent fasting, it's not because you're not fasting enough. It's because you're eating the wrong food within your eating window. And I've said this a million times before, but I still get people who are still trying to eat the same types of meals that they've eaten forever in the past, or simply just skipping a meal and they're not seeing results. This is why. Instead, focusing on the types of foods that kind of double down on the intermittent fasting perks will help you to actually see results with intermittent fasting. This means focusing on foods that are rich in protein, fat, and fiber. Okay, the fourth thing is you need salt. Probably a lot more than you think. In fact, your salt needs might even be double, if not triple, what you're currently taking in. Now, when you're intermittent fasting, it's really easy to lose a lot of sodium and a lot of water, and most people think to actually replace their water, but they're not replacing their sodium. This is a huge problem because all this does is further dilutes your sodium level in your blood. And contrary to probably what you've heard, sodium is actually really important for your health. You need it to literally send messages from your brain to the rest of your body. In fact, if you don't have enough sodium, if you're in a state of electrolyte imbalance, this can cause those common symptoms people experience like headaches, constipation, muscle fatigue, low energy, and it all can be avoided just by using some electrolytes, specifically sodium. You can use a high quality sea salt, but if you're not a fan of just like taking salt, today's sponsor LMNT is a really great option for you because LMNT was really created with fasting and lower carb eating in mind. LMNT is a zero sugar electrolyte that contains the sodium, the magnesium, and the potassium to help you regain that electrolyte balance. And if you aren't a huge fan of plain water, LMNT comes in a ton of different flavors to kind of jazz up your water and make it more exciting so that you're actually going to get the electrolytes and the water that you need. Some of my favorites are the raspberry salt, the citrus salt, lemon habanero, mango chili, or even just the classic unflavored is always a go-to during my fasted state. And LMNT is really easy to use. It comes in these little packets that whenever I'm traveling, I just like stash a bunch into my bag. It's awesome. And all you have to do is tear open the package, dump it in your water, give it a shake, and you're ready to go. And right now, LMNT is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serve packets free with any LMNT order. It's a really great way to test out all 8 flavors, so you can get yours at drinklmnt.com/autumn. This is only available through my link, so make sure to check out drinklmnt.com/autumn. The link will also be in the description down below. Okay, the fifth thing that is so important to know about intermittent fasting is you need to ease into it. Don't go from 0 to 100. Don't go from eating every couple of hours right when you wake up to right when you go to bed to then doing like a 20-hour fast. Your body will not not respond very well. You're going to be hungry. That won't allow you enough time to actually address your meals. It's not going to be a pleasant experience and you're going to give up. Instead, you can slowly ease into this process of intermittent fasting by starting with a 12-hour fast. And then if you want to go on from there, you can increase it by 30 minutes every few days or every few weeks. Okay, the sixth thing is that you're either going to see results really quickly or it'll take about 3 weeks. It's kind of like one or the other, and it really depends on your individual health situation. Typically, if someone has insulin resistance, that's where it could take a couple of weeks to allow insulin to come back down and allow the body to actually tap into fat burning mechanisms. So especially if you have a weight loss goal in mind, don't be discouraged if you don't see results for the first few weeks. This can just be the body adjusting, especially if you are in a state of insulin resistance. On the flip side, if someone is not insulin resistant, they likely are going to see results a lot faster. Again, if you are not one of those people, don't get discouraged. Just know that it's probably your body going through this transition period. And if you find that you are still not seeing results after a few weeks, then it might be time to address your meals. Okay, the next thing you really need to know if you want to be successful with intermittent fasting is that you have to account for your social life. When people first start fasting, they get really excited, which I understand because there's so many amazing benefits associated with intermittent fasting. So many people have achieved these amazing results. So you want to jump right into it and pick the best possible schedule, even if it seems more strict than what you normally would do. I wouldn't advise this because in order to actually see the results for a long period of time, you need to make sure that your intermittent fasting schedule fits your life and your social life. So usually this means incorporating window shifting, which is where you have one schedule that you stick to during the week when you have your normal work schedule, and then another schedule that you can shift to on the weekend when perhaps maybe you're sleeping in a little bit more or you're staying up a little bit later. I have a full video that goes more into this. I'll have it linked right up here, but just know that allowing for that flexibility to fit your life is crucial for long-term success. Okay, the next thing you need to know, especially if you want to break through a plateau with intermittent fasting, is to start with adding walking and then eventually add in strength training. Don't discount walking. Walking is such an amazing tool for helping the body to naturally tap into fat burning mechanisms. Plus, most people are just really stagnant throughout the day, even if they work out in the morning. So incorporating more walking into your routine, getting more steps in, just helps to make it so that you're not going to be as sedentary throughout the day as well. I've had such amazing body recomposition perks, such amazing stress reduction benefits by incorporating my daily walks, and I've talked so much about this on my channel. I'll also have my walking schedule video linked above here if you want to check that out, but especially if you can get a walk in during the fasted state, it can be a game changer. And ideally, you want to be able to build upon that after you've gotten in your walking routine to eventually add in some type of resistance or strength training. There's actually some research specifically on intermittent fasting with strength training and how it can really help to break through a plateau and achieve a body recomposition or weight loss goal. I personally seen this with so many people in my community following my complete intermittent fasting bundle. Did a whole interview with Kristen where she experienced this exact same thing, where she initially saw great results with intermittent fasting and then kind of plateaued and then decided to actually start using the strength training workouts that's included in my complete intermittent fasting bundle and was able to break through her plateau and lose an additional 15 pounds. So start with walking and eventually you can get to resistance training, which you can also check out the resistance training program that's included in my complete intermittent fasting bundle. I'll have the information for the bundle linked down in the description below. Okay, the ninth thing that is so important that so many people miss is to not skip a meal. I get this all the time, especially on places like TikTok or Instagram where you really only have 20 seconds to get a message across. And I get so many people who are like,
intermittent fasting is literally where you skip a meal. What are you talking about? You're crazy. You have no idea what you're talking about.
But if you can only get one thing out of this video, this is it. Intermittent fasting is not about eating less. It's about eating less often. It's not just a simple state of calorie restriction. That's not where the weight loss and the gut health benefits come from. It comes from the hormonal changes of eating less often. It's a big difference. And when you can actually account for that, you're going to feel more satisfied and you're going to actually be able to focus on body recomposition, maintaining your muscle mass, and feeling a lot better in the process and not losing your metabolism in the process as well. Okay, the 10th thing that you need to know is that your meals really matter. You can have an amazing fast where you're just sticking to water, you're having your electrolytes, but if you don't then break your fast with the right types of foods, you can completely reverse the progress you made with your fast. The goal with your meals when you are intermittent fasting is to focus on blood sugar stabilizing foods. So this means foods that are rich in protein, fat, and fiber. This combination is naturally low in sugar sugar, which makes it a lot easier to shift back into a state of fat burning. Plus, it's more satiating, so you're not gonna be hungry and you're not going to crave sugar when you eat enough of protein, fat, and fiber. This is the whole format that we discuss in the complete intermittent fasting bundle with over 100 protein, fat, and fiber rich recipes to help guide you along your way along your intermittent fasting journey. So if you are brand new, make sure you check that out. I will have the complete intermittent fasting bundle linked down in the description below, but you can also check out my video on intermittent fasting meal ideas with this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.